it's Jaemi for Pixi Dust Designs, and today we're going to make a card, but first I want to show you the Magic World paper pad from Pixi Dust Designs' new release. And this is a double-sided pack of 6x6 paper. I'm not using it in today's card, but I did want to show it and let you know that it is available for purchase. We will be using the Espresso Patronum Cup die set though in today's card. I absolutely love this. As a coffee lover, it is the best die to have. And I have a coffee bean stencil that I'm going to be using with some solar paste to make the background. I have some dark brown cardstock, and I'm going to ink up the edges of this with some ground espresso ink just to give it a little more depth and dimension. And I really want to highlight and draw the eye into the center of my cardstock where I will be putting my cup die. I'm keeping the ink wet on my cardstock before I'm laying my stencil down, and I'll show you why. So it's going to be a really kind of cool effect, and don't know if anybody's done this before, but I lay my stencil over my cardstock that I've inked, and I'm just going to take that paste, bring it all the way down through the stencil, and then you're going to see we have this wonderful gold coffee bean background. Around those edges though, you can tell it's a little bit darker, and that's because the paste picked up that pigment. I have already cut out all of the pieces from the die set that we are going to be using. And I even did a double layer of the words so we could do a shadow, which is really simple. So I first cut out the letters in black cardstock and then in this white cardstock. And then I just take the white cardstock and I lay it over the black, but a little askew. So a little down and to the right. And that gives me that shadow effect from the black cardstock that I also cut out in the letters. This is something really great to do if there is not a shadow die available, but you want to add a little bit more interest. I'm now taking my ruler, it's a 0 center ruler, and I am going to try my best to place all of the letters as straight as possible onto my background. Now, I'm not taking too much care with this. I'm not the best when it comes to spacing, so I just do my best, lay them down. It's still gonna look so wonderful and cute. And then I have all of the pieces of my cup here that we're gonna put together. So you can see the die cuts out the full cup, and then you have the pieces to cut out the top of the cup that acts as that lid. I cut it out of 2 different color cardstocks to add a little bit more interest and dimension to the cup lid, but you can also think about doing some additional inking. That would also create added interest and added depth and dimension for the lid. It's a really great idea. I didn't do it in the moment, but I highly suggest doing that. This cup actually comes together really simple. As you can see, I've already got the lid together, and we're gonna then place that onto our cup. Very, very simple. Now that my cup lid is together, I've added some liquid adhesive to the back, and I'm just aligning that along the top of the actual cup base, which you can see fits really perfect. I'm being a little stickler though about making sure it's lined up, but isn't that just adorable? And you can use that cup for any type of project. So it can be used in the manner under which this die is purposed for, with the face and the scarf and all of that, or you can just use it alone and it would still work just wonderfully for any kind of coffee lover card. Here I am putting together the scarf. I cut the back layer out of gold metallic cardstock, and then that overlay piece is out of just a maroon cardstock. I did do a little bit of inking on those just to brighten the maroon, because my maroon cardstock wasn't quite as maroon as I would have liked it. So I went ahead and did do a little bit of inking. The tails, so there's the main scarf piece in this die set, and then you have the tails of the scarf. I'm now going to work on actually assembling the cup itself. So there's a little die here that I cut out of gold cardstock, which is the lightning bolt that is on the forehead. So I've placed that down first. That's going to act honestly as my guide for placement of the eyebrows and the rest of the face. So I'm putting the eyebrows onto the cup, but I'm not using any adhesive to actually, you know, place them securely down. It's just from an alignment perspective, so I know where to put the glasses. Once the glasses are onto my cup, I then am going to use some liquid adhesive and secure the eyebrows. This way I know, exactly where I want them and how I want to position them. What I like about the eyebrows is you can honestly place them however you want to. They can be in a very serious mode. You could kind of have them maybe a little bit more down if you want to have a different kind of facial effect. So think about that when you're using this, that you can make this cup kind of have any face that you really want it to just by repositioning how you're aligning the eyebrows onto your cup. I then put a couple of dots in the center of the glasses so I can adhere the eyes. And you can see already the expression and how all of this is coming together, that this is a very serious cup because we are doing some magic here and it's wonderful. So now I'm taking the top part of that scarf and I'm just aligning it without any glue, just kind of placing it on where I'm going to want it on my cup, and that way I know exactly where to put the other little dot that I cut out of some pink cardstock, which is the mouth. I'm bringing back out the scarf and we're going to adhere with a little bit of liquid adhesive the tails. So you saw me put a little bit of liquid adhesive and I am adhering that behind the base of the scarf so that the tails are coming from behind the scarf, not in front. This gives a real nice depth to this element that we're putting on our card. I'm now going to work on adhering the arm for my cup, but I want to know that my alignment is going to be right, and I lay my scarf down. It's not adhered with any kind of adhesive. It's just going to be laid down where I know that I'm going to want it, but I don't want to adhere it in case I need to kind of move it based on the positioning of the arm. It is a little hard to see the black cardstock against my black craft surface, but I'm trying to make sure that the arm is coming out of the cup without overlapping this piece of the glasses that comes off the side, which is really cute. And having the arm first onto the cup really helps me, at least, understand where I need to put my scarf, because that's kind of the bottom element, and I wanted to make sure that, I was putting it maybe either up or down, however I needed to for proper placement with everything else that is going on the cup. I now have the wand piece and I only need a little dab of glue at the very end that is going to adhere to the arm. So this was a little tricky because I didn't want, the glue isn't dry, but I didn't want to glue it accidentally to my, work surface. So I had to pick it up and I'm just kind of dabbing off some of the glue. I could have actually done a dab off onto cardstock or a paper towel or something so there wasn't as much glue, but, I just used my fingers. I'm going to put some liquid adhesive onto the back of my card panel so that I can adhere it to my card base. I then use some dimensional adhesive foam tape to put on the back of my cup, which I'm going to center right between the words on my card. This is such an adorable card. I love it. And if you are a coffee fan or have coffee loving friends, they are going to absolutely love receiving a card like this. This was such a fun card to put together, and I absolutely love this Espresso Patronum Cup die set from Pixi Dust Designs. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when there's more crafty fun to be had.